Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Britt and I'm documenting my journey from the East Coast to the West Coast. I'm moving from Connecticut to Los Angeles in about 5 weeks. There's a bunch of YouTube videos of people just moving, like in the car ride and packing and stuff, but I think that there's a really fun part that comes with the before and the after of the move, because the getting there is like the easiest part of it, right? The before and the after is actually where the work is done. So let me give you some background on me and why am I even moving to Los Angeles. Okay, you ready? So it was always movies for me. First, I wanted to be an actress, and then I changed that to wanting to tell people what to do, which is when I decided I wanted to be a director and a producer. What I didn't know is that I was going to fall into a writer role, but we'll get to that. When I went back to college, because like I went to a school, unenrolled out of that one, had to go to another school close to home, dropped out of that one, and then didn't go back to school for another 3 years. But anyway, I went back and I got it done, whatever. When I went back to school to actually get my degree and finish it up, in those 3 years I was back, I ended up producing a bunch of shows for a local Connecticut station. That's when I really learned how to be in control of a lot of people and a big production. And if something went wrong, it was my fault, and if it went right, it was also my fault. So it's like that high stakes pressure, which I really love. In college, I produced both magazine shows and live election coverage, and I was there when we covered the 2012 election. Shortly after college, I started working in network TV. I worked for ABC and I worked for NBC. I was in Manhattan, really at the center of things. 6 weeks after graduating, this is where I was working. It was something that you dream about when this is the career that you want to go into. I was in New York for a while, working at those places, and then I just decided I needed to go back to Connecticut, and I wanted to start the production company that I had always dreamed about starting. So that's exactly what I did. When I came back to Connecticut, I had no official job. I had no actual income at that point. I just had what I had saved up working in New York. So I formed an LLC, went through that whole process, and I did that so that I could make my first movie. And this is where the writing part comes in. I'm dyslexic. I'm not a great reader. I really am not. But I ended up having this idea for a movie, and I couldn't find anybody else to write it, so I gave it a shot. And the first draft was actually horrible. It was so bad. That'll never see the light of day. But the second draft was a lot closer to how the movie ended up turning out. So I assembled a small team together. I did as much of the work as I could because I could not afford other people to do it. I did the writing, the casting, I got all the locations, planned out the catering and the craft services. Actually, I went shopping for the craft services. Then I also directed it, and obviously I produced it. So I learned a little bit while doing that. It was actually great. As stressful as it was, I didn't mind having to do all of those parts because I got to learn about all those individual items that you don't normally get a chance to experience if you're working in a big company. Now I have a background in casting. I know how to work with SAG-AFTRA. I learned about crafty and catering and scheduling meals. And I learned about securing locations and taking all of those pictures and measuring stuff. What are the dimensions of each room? Where are the reflection points? Where are the outlets? How many outlets? What is the voltage that everything can take before we short a circuit? Which like we did actually a couple of times, but then we learned. But all of this was such a learning process, and if I had to go back and I had extra money to hire people to do this, I wouldn't, because that was invaluable to learn. We shot the movie in 13 days, and long story short, it is on Amazon Prime, or you can get a DVD, and it's called Wandering Off, and I am very proud of it. Once you have a distributor and it's out for people to stream, to buy, to rent, people started looking at me and the business so differently. Now we were a part of it, right? So before that, it felt like we're still trying to get in, we're still trying to get in, we're still trying to get in. And now, oh, you have a movie out, you got distribution. Hey, we get that you're serious now. Let's have talks about future things. So that's where I'm at right now. Currently, I'm sitting on 2 features that are waiting to get financed. One we've had meetings about, and the other one is very new, and we're bringing it to AFM this year. Oh, light. Okay, well, the natural light that was so great before, I don't know if it's ever coming back. And I don't have any lights set up right now, so like, whatever. Here's what I do know. I have a little over 5 weeks before I leave. Don't have a job lined up out there. I just have like my little side editing and captioning stuff that I do, but I don't actually have a job that could pay rent for me. I don't have an apartment yet, and I'm not that worried. I think other people are worried that I don't have all of this stuff together yet, but honestly, I'm not, because I know it's gonna work out. I know this is the right time to go. Okay, how does anybody ever know anything's the right time? I always knew I was gonna end up in LA, but I was waiting for the right time, the right moment, the right sign. Well, let me tell you about how many signs I got this year. To start off with, on New Year's Eve and day, so starting 2019 off, I had food poisoning and had to rush out of the New Year's Eve party I was at. All right, so that's January. February, something that was a constant in my life was no longer, and I never saw that coming. And then March, my grandfather died unexpectedly. April, I got into a car accident. May, my great-grandma died. June, I broke my foot and sprained my ankle. And then in July, the dance studio that I've been at for 15 years closed down. So I got it. I got the signs. I got it. I'm out of here. There's like nothing left here. So that's pretty much what I got for this first episode. Some background on me, why I'm getting out, and I don't know, maybe you learned a little bit about my personality. I'm hoping to put up at least 1 video every week, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel, hit the like button, share this with some friends. Love to have you on this journey with me, going from East Coast to West Coast and everything before and after. I will see you on the next one.